Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Trevor Stockwell, and my guest today is a woman of many talents. Angelina Mahany is a fashion designer with a background in marketing and is also now the CEO and founder of Angie Showroom, which is a handmade lingerie boutique and e-commerce store. She's with us today to share some of her insights about the challenges and the strategies to building a successful e-commerce business. So great to have you with us. Welcome to the show, Angelina Mahany.
Yeah, hi, Trevor. Thank you for having me here. I'm super excited.
Great. No, it's brilliant. I think a lot of the time, like, we can easily take for granted the fact that it's just easy to go online and order stuff and, you know, buy what we want, have a look at it, and next day or a couple of days, everything's here. But there's a lot more to getting everything in place for that to happen well. And I know you started off with a slightly different company to start with. Maybe just share a little bit about some of your journey so far that's brought you to now sort of looking after Angie's Showroom.
Yeah, I have a very broad experience. I actually never thought that I would become a fashion designer or own a lingerie boutique before. I always thought that I would be a CEO of a huge corporation, you know, like running a company or something like that. But then everything changed, and I guess it's just because my life changed a lot. But yeah, previously I was into marketing, and I was in marketing and communications. I was working in different corporations, large corporations, and it was the automobile industry and IT services and telecommunications, like different aspects of business, I guess. And I was living in Russia, and then I was in France. I was working in a French company there. In Russia, actually, I was also working in a French company in Brno. So it was my first automobile industry. And then I moved to Cyprus. And when I moved to Cyprus, it was actually a startup company. So that was kind of different because I used to work in a big companies and everything was like, you know, very, very strict and forward. My position was, I don't know, communications manager, and I was just doing that. But in a startup company, you see things differently. Like, you have to do everything. Like, basically we had, I don't remember, I think 3 people when we started. So it was just me in charge of the whole thing about sales and marketing. And that was a challenge. And I think this experience in particular brought me basically to actually own my own company, just because I did everything from scratch. Like, I created the strategies, the websites, the social media, all the marketing materials. We were like brainstorming all the time with our small team. We were brainstorming and thinking, what can we do? How to bring clients? What else can we do? And it was a very interesting industry as well. As you know, Cyprus and a lot of British people actually own homes in Cyprus, you know, and Cyprus is a lot about offshore and financial services and Forex companies. So I was part of a financial company there, a corporate services company, and also immigration. So we worked with different countries about citizenships through investment, and also corporate services, opening companies around the world for people and providing services to them. So that was also kind of a new industry to me.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I guess, Cyprus was this start point when I decided that I want something on my own. And then my husband appeared with a proposal. He was my boyfriend at this time, and he's American. So basically he proposed, and I was like, oh my God, I'm moving to United States. And basically here I am now. Right now, we moved to Austin, Texas, and it's where I started my business. When I moved to the United States, I was like, okay, US is definitely the country where you can think outside of the box, where you can actually try things. And it's very, I can say it's very easy, but it's kind of easy compared to Russia and Europe. I would say that it's easier to start your business in US. And I was like, okay, if not now, like, yeah, when I'm gonna do it? And I started to think, what should I do? And as you mentioned, yes, I have like different experiences. I actually started with reselling, and I was looking into e-commerce, but at this time I didn't really have a lot of experience with not with fashion industry, but in general with e-commerce, because I was working more on the corporate side, and I was working with intranet and all the internal websites, but never actually like selling to people, like customers. And B2C. It was more like B2B for us. And so it was completely different experience for me. And I was like, okay, I can start with reselling because I was always into fashion. And I lived like in France and in Russia. We're very, very fashionable people, and we like clothing and handbags and all of that. And I was like, okay, I know a lot about brands. And I was studying in France, actually, marketing. My master's was in marketing there, and it was all about French companies, and France is, so huge on luxury products and fashion, and everybody knows that. And of course, we had so many courses about Louis Vuitton and Chanel and all of that, L'Oreal, whatever. And of course, I knew all of this industry, and I was like, okay, I want to start reselling. And I started reselling to Russia at first, just because, again, I can speak the language, and it was a good market. People shop a lot from United States because the prices are lower, and it went very well. I think in 2 months I already made like a good profit, and that was fantastic. But it was actually because it was a time when Instagram just kind of started. I can say that it just started, but it was kind of picking up. We didn't even have ads at this moment. Like, it was just posts. We didn't have stories. We didn't have videos. Like, nothing was available on Instagram, but it was still easy to promote yourself there without paying anything, because it didn't exist. And I think that's why I was kind of successful so quickly, because it was so easy by algorithm of Instagram to actually increase your following and sell well in there. And the Russian market was slightly different for US market, because people actually enjoyed Instagram a lot. Even now, they like to shop through Instagram, I think, compared to US market. But that was my first, experience with owning my own business. And then I was like, okay, I live in the United States, and I have to actually think what I can bring here, because I live here. I have to make income here. Like, I have to do everything here. And that's how Angie Showroom came to my mind, because I was like, okay, right now I have some experience with selling and I was like, okay, I want to do something different, and I want to own my brand. I want to have something on my own to be proud of. And again, I was always into fashion, and I love lingerie and underwear, all of that, and also handbags. That's what I was reselling. And I was like, okay, I'm struggling to find good lingerie in here, which is still true. It's very difficult to find brands in the United States, again, compared to Europe.
Yeah.
Because in Europe, I think UK, France, Italy, you have a lot of brands, to be honest, to shop from different price ranges. And here, pretty much everybody only know Victoria's Secret, I guess. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Victoria's Secret, and that's pretty much it. Like in terms of, I guess, good lingerie, which I still don't consider them as good as they could be. I was struggling to find affordable lingerie, but also kind of like nice looking and made of good materials, not like polyester and stuff. I wanted something with beautiful lace or silk or satin silk, something like that, and it was impossible to find in my price range.
Yeah.
So, and that's how my idea was born. I was like, okay, I probably need to think about that and bring something to this market that people, don't see or can't find. I remember when I had my bachelorette party, my friends, they gifted me for the wedding night, they gifted me the set, and it was a silk set, which was a handmade lingerie set. And I remembered about it. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, like actually we can do something handmade, and it was made of 100% silk, and it was so beautiful, so comfortable. And I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, that's like a good idea. I should try that out. And yeah, I mean, sorry for a long introduction, but that's how the idea was born. And
no, that's really good.
It's really,
I was just thinking, like, whatever happens in life to all of us on our journey, a lot of the time we may not appreciate the value of it at the time, but after, there's a lot of things we draw on it, whether it's influences, experiences, things we've learned, which then we use in our future. And to me, it sounds like when you were in Cyprus, you were kind of learning about what it's like to be a startup, to start sort of doing more entrepreneurial endeavors. Then when you get to the US, it's like you almost, in a sense, found your own problem and solved it, in the sense of sourcing, finding the right sort of materials, the right sort of quality in your price range, and then inspiration through your friends, through the gift as well, kind of the inspiration of, okay, this is what I could do. So that's really good. It's interesting. I think a lot of the time we can miss stuff on the journey. So when we look back, maybe we spot things that we learn and sort of help to point us in the right direction. But at the time, we're just
definitely
trying to make the most of it, aren't we? And where we are. So, no, that's really good. So
it's
maybe
not easy for sure, but
no,
it wasn't
absolutely.
easy, and it's still not for everyone, I guess. Like a lot of people want to own their own business, but to be honest, and I was pregnant at this time when I started all of that.
Wow.
I actually pregnant again, so I'm waiting for my second child now. But
congratulations.
it wasn't, thank you, but it wasn't easy. And I'm just saying that now that it's a lot of stress. Like you have to, if you are a business owner, you work nonstop. Like I think I didn't have vacation for all these years. Like, and I'm actually doing my business for 7 years now, a lingerie less, but I mean the whole journey, it's 7 years, and it's just tough. So it's not for everyone, but it's still a path that you could take. It's just you have to be ready that it's not easy. For sure.
No, makes a lot of sense. That's why I think such key that we're driven by the passion for the product, the service, who we're trying to help. I think that they're really good drivers to get you through the bumpy bits, the bits that where we learn we don't make it doesn't make sense, not making any money straight away, or whatever the scenario might be. You mentioned a couple of points about I saw it in your bio sort of before we were chatting about start with a plan, and also if you can find a good mentor. So
Yeah.
a little bit on those 2 points for us. What were your experiences?
Yes. I think everyone knows that, but again, I would repeat it that you have to have a plan. Like when I had my reselling business, so I kind of I was making money already, so I could kind of put some money aside to invest in my second business, which I wanted to launch. But I, of course, because I already knew that I have to have a plan, as with reselling business, it was like seriously from scratch. I just started, so I didn't really plan many things, and I was just learning on the go. And here was lingerie business. I was, of course, more serious, and I guess I already had more experience of how starting, business properly. So I definitely started with a plan, with business plan. I mean, it might be not a very precise plan, but at least you have to kind of write and think about everything that you need to do. Like, for instance, from registering the company, opening a bank account for your business, all these small things that you actually need to have prior you start your business. So yeah, you have to write everything down, and that helps. And of course, business plan will change and will be amended with time, because you don't know your sales, you don't know, actually you even don't know your audience, your target audience, because you have to test it. And definitely it's going to change during your path, but still you will have like certain points that you will kind of follow. And that will definitely help you, or everyone, it will help you, because you have to kind of stick to what you're doing, or instead of like, oh, I'm gonna do this today and this tomorrow. No, it doesn't work like that. You have like to focus on one thing, on marketing, for example, or on sales, or on financial part. And as a business owner, especially as a small business, you have to do everything yourself. You have to learn everything yourself first, and then you start delegating to other people, because you can control them in the future, check them in the future, manage them in the future. But you have to know how to do it yourself, because otherwise you can't manage them. And the second point that you mentioned, it was about mentor. That's definitely what I discovered myself, because lingerie business was like completely new to me, and designing lingerie, seriously, oh my god, like I would never think that I would design something. But I didn't start from designing. I was actually starting with finding vendors, handmade vendors that I liked, and I started to work with them. So it wasn't like from the beginning when I was like, oh my god, I'm a fashion designer. No. It wasn't. It was like, it took me maybe a year or maybe a little bit more when I actually learned the industry. But before that, when I just started to look into the lingerie business and the intimate business, I actually found a mentor, and she's actually in the UK, by the way. And she used to have a lingerie store, like a brick and mortar store, and then she became a consultant and a mentor to people who were opening the lingerie business, or who wanted to move to the lingerie business. So she was very helpful. And what I'm saying by mentor is just, you want to learn from professionals in order, you have to pay money. That's another obstacle and disadvantage, because they are not cheap. But you have to invest in this, just because they will tell you a lot of things that you probably didn't even know, and they will kind of save you from mistakes that you're gonna make. You're still gonna make mistakes, and I'm doing it all the time, but still making mistakes. But she still kind of like wrote a big document. I remember it was like a lot of what it was, um, things from like what I should start from and what I should do, like what I should calculate, what should be my margin, what, you know, like she gave me so much information. And I think, yeah, it was very, very valuable. Again, yeah, you have to invest. It's not free and it's not cheap. But those people, it's difficult to find them too, because you never know if the person, you know, is truly professional. And yeah, you have to kind of dig and find the right person, because a lot of people are not scammers, but still they might be not great for you, and they still ask for you know, a lot of money. But yeah, she was great, and she gave me a lot of information that I used and still used. Yeah, and she even told me like what I shouldn't do when I was like, oh, I want to do this, and I actually didn't listen to her, which was another, yeah, like I was thinking, because I started to sell lingerie, and I started to work with one of the Austin stores, and they were selling it well, and I was like, okay, they sell well. And I asked her, I'm like, I want to open my own brick and mortar store. And she used to have a brick and mortar for 20 years, I don't remember now, but, and she was like, no, you know, it's a lot of expense, and you know, she gave me all the details, and I still didn't listen to her, because at some point I did open brick and mortar store, and I can say that I regret, but I like I do regret, because I lost a lot of money, but I do not regret this experience, because I actually know how brick and mortar store works now. And yeah, so I think I guess I had to do it in order not to make this mistake in the future. It's kind of my experience, even though she told me not to do it. So I said that, yeah, you still have a mentor and they still gonna guide you, but at some point you still, I guess, will make your own mistakes, because you still think that this is right, or you know, this is right or this is wrong. But again, making this mistake will help you in the future, you know, because I think if I wouldn't do it back then, I would probably do it now. And now I know that I don't want to do it because I already had this, you know, bad experience. Yeah.
No, that's really good. So what would be, for people listening, whether they've got an e-commerce store at the moment, or they're thinking, I know this is the next step, this is what I need to do to then reach, to get my product different region, or whatever the reasons might be, what are just, there's quite a lot to it, but what would be a couple of the things that you'd say, really think about this and cause these things to determine your decision on whether you proceed or how you would proceed? I mean, generally most products you can sell online, I guess, if you can get distribution and things like that, but what would be some of the things that maybe we don't think about, because a lot of the big online retailers will use, and they make it seem so easy, but from the sort of the back end perspective, for people that are starting out or still early, what would be some of the things to either to avoid or just to consider in the whole process?
Yeah, that's a difficult question. Interesting question. Yeah, because I'm just starting to think what you can avoid or think. But yeah, it's true. E-commerce is so complex, and people think, oh, I'm going to open Shopify store and I'm going to have sales the next day. But no, it's not true, because there are thousands and millions of Shopify stores and nobody knows about you. You have to kind of promote, which is cool now, because we do have social media. And that's much easier to actually talk, and right now it's very popular to mix your personal brand and your business. I'm doing it I guess with my reselling business, I'm doing my personal brand in there and my reselling, because I'm showing myself as a seller and people like it. And sometimes I show my personal life, of course, not everything, but something about me. So again, people trust me more. With lingerie business, it's a bit different for me, just because it's a different business. And I don't want to show my personal life in there. But again, it's very, very popular right now to promote yourself as a brand and also sell your products. So I don't know what exactly you can avoid because I think you still have to learn. You have to actually, you not learn, but you have to test everything, because for every single industry is so different. Like even for me, the reselling business and the lingerie business, it's two different markets even, and they're so different. Like what is working for my Russian clients and for my European clients, that doesn't work here in the United States. And to be honest, I'm still struggling to find out like what people here like, because they think completely different. And I think, yeah, it depends where you're located, what do you want to do. I just want to say that you have to pick something that you really, really like doing, I guess, because you don't want to, you can be successful with a business that you don't really understand. Or, right now, IT industries, for example, is very, very popular, or designing or UX design or something like that. But if you don't like it, you're not going to be successful. So you have to pick what you like and kind of do your market research and see if it's even, possible to promote, like if you're gonna sell the service or product or whatever. And you have to test, like with everything, like with PR, with marketing, with sales. So I really don't know. It's difficult. I don't know what you can avoid. You can avoid, it's what I was saying with a mentor. If you have a mentor, you can avoid some mistakes, because the mentor can actually help you and have calls with you on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis. But you can, like what we did, we made a plan with her, and basically she told me, okay, next month you're working on this part, and we will have a call, we will discuss what you've done, how it's going, and blah blah blah. And she gave me, after that she would give me recommendations. So I think the mentor, kind of helps you and guides you how you should start and what you should do. And they actually, look at your business and they help you to amend it. So I think it's what you can avoid. You can avoid a lot of mistakes and loss of your money by referring to a professional who can actually help you. But the rest with the commerce, with website and everything, you have to test the design even. I mean, you have to like try everything and see. It really depends on the industry and product, colors, everything matters. Like,
No, it makes a lot of sense. It's almost like having the bare bones of the structure is one thing, and then like you say, you can have a site, and if nobody knows you're there, you're not going to get customers going to the site anyway. So you've sort of linked with, because one of the things I was going to ask you about really was, you've linked with sort of some influencers, or you found the right sort of partners to help build momentum. What would be, again, very broad question, because people are in different sectors, different products and services. But what would be one of the sort of the general practical things you found that has worked for you with that, and maybe something that you would suggest people avoid generally, or think twice before they sort of spend too much time on it?
It really depends what you're doing. I agree, because again, I'm in the product industry, so I have to make the product, sell the product. So for us, it's a different type of logistics and everything. And the most important thing that you trust the partner, of course, because you're actually gonna build a relationship with this partner. You're gonna work on a daily basis, pretty much. It's not always easy. But what I did, like I knew which countries make beautiful handmade lingerie, and I just wanted to reach out to those countries. And I was actually, again, I was using social media. I was searching for competitors for different lingerie brands and small boutiques and small lingerie business, handmade lingerie business, sorry. And that's how I actually found my partners, because I reached out, I talked to them, I said, I want to start my business here in the United States. Are you willing to, make products for me and ship it here? And we see how it goes. And the success with my partners was in that they also were small businesses. So of course they were interested to work with me, because they wanted to increase their sales, to get more profit. So for everyone, it was a win-win situation. And of course, to be honest, we learned together everything. Like I started, they started, and it was just a lot of mistakes at first, even with branding, like to order certain pieces of like sizes and to suit to the lingerie. So it was like a lot of and branding, like packaging and all of that. So it didn't happen in one day. It took us some time, but I like working with them still, just because again, I trust them now, and we kind of learn together what we should do or not do. Even in terms of designs, I was asking to change some things that I didn't like, and we kind of amended certain styles of bras or bikini panties or something like that. And and it was just worked. But again, it's a bit risky from the beginning, because you'd never know if the partner is going to be trustworthy, and if they're not gonna take your money and disappear, something like that. So I would say, there is some risk. But again, even if you start working with huge manufacturers or Chinese factories or something like that, it's still a risk. What they're going to send you or what they're going to make for you, and when like there is a huge time frame when they can actually start working on your design, and also communication. Another point that I want to make, for me, it was easier to work with them also because I speak Russian, and it was the Ukraine and Russian suppliers. And actually, I also had Belarusian at some point, and one girl in Italy, but she was also speaking Russian. So, I mean, for me, it was easier to communicate because it was my native language. And that's another point with China, for example. If you're going to pick someone in China, it's more complicated to work with them because they don't really speak well English well, and I mean you might be speaking another language, so that's also important. Maybe you should search for partners and suppliers that are kind of not from your country, but at least speaking good language or the language that you are comfortable of communicating. That's definitely helps a lot. And I guess I'm still looking, like it's basically not everyday process, but once a month or twice a month, not twice a month, once every 2 months, maybe I look at something else if I want to, increase my product line. Right now I do produce my own lingerie brand, but I still work with them because I know their quality. So I just give them, details what I want. And again, it's easier because they can find right materials. They know where to get it. They know the pricing. And we already have this established communication. And I just, send what I need and they can make it. And then we see if it's working or not. We change, amend some things. So it's how my brand actually grew, not grew, but create. attracted, I guess, because I started to work with them first, and then I just decided to start something on my own, but I still work with them. It's just more on my designs now. So it is important for sure. To have someone you trust. I wanted to add something, but I forgot.
Good. No, everything you shared there, it makes a lot of sense. And sometimes it's the things that we can overlook, like connecting with the right people, making sure there's kind of a mutual win-win there. I think is key, whatever business we're in. Ideally, both parties are looking for long-term partners. So you've both got sort of an incentive to make it work. If for some reason there are disagreements at some point or whatever, then there are times when you have to part ways. But I think you're right. Try and make it a win-win. If they're still developing their business as well, how can you help and support them? Or if they're further down the road and they're more established, make sure that you're communicating in a way that makes sense, that they know what you need as well. I always think communications is a challenge because sometimes what we think we've said, they haven't heard. They've heard something slightly different. So, even if we're using the same language, it's when if their native language is not your mother tongue, there's an extra complication. But even when you're both speaking the same sort of native language, sometimes there's the assumption that, well, this is what I meant, which I guess you knew that, but it's like, no, actually, this is what you said. Which can be different. So I know where you're coming from with that one. No, that's really good. You shared lots of good things to get us sort of thinking about the different areas. I guess one of the other challenges, sort of as we sort of start to wrap this up, would be from a supplier's perspective is also to have a contingency, maybe like another supplier, or know that they've got different sort of suppliers their side that they can draw upon should one of them have an issue with something or business.
You always need to have some extra contacts. That's, I agree as well, because it's what I actually wanted to mention. I remember now that I always look for new suppliers, not because I want to switch to someone else, but I'm looking to increase my store inventory. For example, I wanted to edit some swimwear, which we didn't really have, and I was like, okay, I'm in Florida now, and we have a lot of sun here and water. But it's not only about Florida. It's just in general, people, if they shop for lingerie, they might shop for nightwear, which I also added last year or 2 years ago. I don't remember. And then I was thinking, swimwear can be a good fit. So you always look for new suppliers. It doesn't mean that actually after you test, it doesn't mean that it's the product that you are looking for. That's kind of unfortunate, but you keep looking because something might happen. And we recently discovered it, unfortunately, with like this world situation, and we kind of stopped our manufacturing process for a month. And I started to look like urgently for something else, and it was difficult because I already know what I need. I need certain quality, I need certain and my business is about handmade and about comfort and about quality, and I just didn't want to switch for example, for Chinese products that cost $10, because I already have my brand image and I can't just, switch to something cheap. And so that was tricky. And I'm glad that we kind of reopened and we do make orders. It's slightly slower right now, but we still operate, and I'm happy that we do that. But this situation brought me again to the idea that I had a couple of years ago, that I need someone here, like locally in the United States as well, because we do work on pre-orders a lot. It's our part of sustainability, and it's also about our handmade process. So we do work on pre-orders, and of course it takes time to make a set, to ship the set, and all of that. So I was always thinking that I have to kind of move some production here. But it's so difficult because you can't, again, going back and talking about quality, it's so difficult to find someone here with certain qualifications and knowledge who can make lingerie here, especially lingerie is, to be honest, a tricky product. It's very difficult to make compared to even nightwear like pajamas, for example, or home robe. Yeah, lingerie is a difficult product, and it's so difficult to find a seamstress who can actually help me realize my dreams and my designs. So I keep looking, but again, because all these things happened, I understand that you still have to have a plan B. So answering your question as well, that you still have to keep looking, not because you want to switch your supplier, but because you're testing. You might you might add something to your website if you sell products. So, and it might be actually better for your target audience, and they will be like, oh my God, I love this. Or, you know, you wanted to switch to bridal, I don't know, accessories, and your target audience actually would love that. So yeah, you have to test all the time and look for suppliers. And I don't think that big suppliers and small suppliers, there is a difference, of course, but there are pluses and minuses in both. Because with small suppliers, I think you have more flexibility. You can change some things, you can work together, or some things they actually more involved in the process or more interested because they want to make their business grow as well, and they would be, you know, kind of supporting. Compared to large businesses, they might have tons of customers already, and and they would be like, okay, if we lose one customer, that's fine, we will find a new one. So there is like always advantages and disadvantages. I did try to work with both, and I would say I like to work more with small businesses because it keeps my business, I guess, unique. Is what I'm thinking. Not unique, but a little bit special, I guess, compared to other, even other lingerie boutiques or e-commerce store who work with big brands, because I'm trying to have an impact, I guess, on the world by bringing something very limited and good quality and the, you know, medium price range that we try to keep.
No, that's really good. That's really good. So just kind of as we wrap it up now, how would people sort of touch base? Best thing, head to the website, Angie Showroom. Is that the...
Yes, our website is Angie Showroom, 1S, and they go to our website. I would say they probably go to our website a lot from Pinterest or other social media because we post a lot in there. So they hit our website. We have different categories. We have lingerie, we have swimwear now, we have some teddies, some nightwear. So I try to keep most of our products as a handmade, and some products currently, like swimwear, I try to keep them lower in price. So I have some suppliers from China for swimwear, but the rest I still try to keep as a handmade. And we have a lot of social media too: Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. We used to have TikTok. We still have the account, but unfortunately, again, lingerie business is tricky because it's women in underwear, and the TikTok kind of ban a lot of our videos, or so it's very difficult to advertise standard way. Like even Facebook and Instagram advertising might be tricky. You have to pick right images that are not banned. Same for TikTok, but I would say Instagram and Pinterest work good for us. it's where people, it's these two social medias where people actually look at photos and they do like images. And yeah, so these two again, yeah, it depends on your business, but for us, because we present a beautiful picture, these two social media work well. But maybe for other people it would be a different social media, so you have to look into that as well. Yeah, yes, our Instagram, if you want to subscribe, definitely do, and please do, Angie's showroom. And yeah, you can see our beautiful images, reels, and videos in there too.
Brilliant. No, that's really good. Yeah, I mean, there'll be ladies watching or listening, which want to go shopping themselves, or
even
maybe pick up
men.
a
I
gift.
mean, we don't
Yeah.
mind, and we have a lot of men customers who shop for themselves or for their wives or girlfriends. Yeah, to be honest, I think I don't know, 50% of our customers are men too, so that's
Okay.
kind of nice.
Yeah. Looking for that special gift. Yeah, well, like you've developed a premium kind of bespoke product and a brand, so it gives it that extra uniqueness, doesn't it, as a gift as well. Could be a good potential inspiration for people out there as well. The other side of it as well, I would suggest head to Angelina's website, really, just to look at how the e-commerce side of it works for her. If you're looking into doing an e-commerce site, obviously your product service will be different. You might want to do it slightly differently, but we can get inspired by other people that are out there that are doing things. You've got lots of different payment methods available as well, which is a key element as well. You want to make it as accessible for your customers as possible to part with their money from a business perspective as well.
Right now there are tons of options, I think, to pay, and also look at the competitors, not even only competitors, but you shop every day. Maybe not every day, maybe some people shop every day, but I mean, you shop a lot, and you have certain websites that you actually like, and just write it down, like what you like about those websites, what do you like, I don't know, about navigation or the images that they have, or payment methods, as you mentioned. Anything that you pretty much enjoy, or on the mobile phone, on the app, maybe you like certain apps, and yeah, write it down, because you will forget it next day, that's for sure. But for your business, when you start building your website and e-commerce, that definitely will help you, because you might think about all those cool websites that you like. You kind of can steal some ideas, which is not it's not stealing, it's just taking good things and amend it to your business. But that will definitely help, because if they do it right, I mean, if they sell a lot and they are successful, that probably they do something right. And yeah, you can kind of steal different things from them.
Yeah. And also any sites you're navigating around, things you don't like that doesn't work for you as well. Note those, make sure you don't include those in your
you
site.
don't want to
It's just some sites are better than others, I think, but I guess it's subjective, isn't it, depending who we are and how we navigate and like things. But no, all key points. So thank you for everything that you've shared. We do need to wrap it up for now, but there'll be a link to your site below, so I encourage people to have a look at the site and then bounce from there onto Instagram and different places like that where you are, see what's out there, see what works, listen to what Angelina shared as well. There's been a lot of different practical things that she's sort of shared with us today, and depending where you are, what you're doing, what your next step is, there'll be one or two things that I would suggest you focus on to start with. Maybe it is get a mentor, maybe it is look at your branding, your distribution, your partners, are you operating in the right country, all of these sorts of things. Lots of different things you can think about, but there'll be definitely something that you can do as a next step. So definitely take action on something. We always encourage people to take action. Both
I wanted to say that don't be afraid, always try, and definitely look only forward, and you have to try different things. And if something is not working, definitely move to and other thing, because you will find what works for you, for your business. And definitely don't stop, because business will die. We have to always move and grow. Otherwise, there is a curve. And if you're stopping, it's just gonna die. So always think about new ideas.
It's good to stay innovative, isn't it? Like you're saying about looking at going into swimwear and different products and different things like that as well. So rather than just, well, this is what I do and get stuck in that, it's like you keep the base things and then you try new things and see how customers respond, don't you? So all good sound advice there. So appreciate all that. Thank you, Angelina, for your time today with us and for sharing your expertise and some of the challenges you've overcome as well. That's really good.
Thank you so much. It was very nice.
No, you're welcome. It's great to have to chat with you. So for everybody listening as well, just what's the next steps that you need to take? Have a think about it. Put a plan together, tweak the plan, maybe relook at something that you've been doing is not quite working right, or there's a next step, new area, a new product that you want to add. Any of that could be really good, could be your next step. Also, if you're looking and thinking about mentoring, both myself and Yeukai, we coach and mentor business owners, leaders in different aspects. Depending where you are, it might be a good next step. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. If it is, reach out to us. Send me an email at leaders@trevorstockwell.com. We can have a conversation and then see if it's a good connection and the right thing. Maybe it isn't. Maybe the next thing is just focus on what you're doing, spend more time on it, and then just gradually add something new. Who knows? We'll leave it for you because everybody's different. But we believe in you, we believe in your potential, and we're here to help. So thanks for joining us today. Thanks again, Angelina, and we will catch everybody next time. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Yeukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yeukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.